employees. So the greater the numbers of employees, the more opportunity for a bad actor to access and elevate any of those users to privileges that they shouldn't have and effectively gain control of the entire business.
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Cuppa with Climb. This month is Cybersecurity Awareness Month and the theme is See Yourself in Cyber. No, this doesn't mean quit your job and become a cybersecurity expert or single-handedly take on the war on cyber. It refers to how every single individual within a corporation can do their bit to ensuring the security of the company. Empowering employees at every level to be able to identify and report suspicious activity or social engineering is vital. However, companies must also ensure that their teams are equipped with the tools, software and training that they need. Today, I'll be talking to a panel of cybersecurity solution specialists from Climb. I'll let you all introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Alanna, Bestwick, Climb's Microsoft Marketing Manager.
Oh, hi, so I'm Chris Clifford. I am the Business Development Manager for Flexera and Sonatype.
Okay, so I'm Teddy Loveridge, the ManageEngine BDM here at Climb.
I'm Thorl. I'm the Quest Business Development Manager here at Climb.
It's a pleasure to have you all on this episode. Last year, we discussed the importance of becoming Cyber Essentials certified, how resellers and customers can achieve this, and the secondary benefits of doing so. A huge element of Cyber Essentials is equipping internal and external workers with secure tools and training to prevent social engineering attacks. This year, we're diving a little bit deeper. Could you all please tell me more about why it's so important to secure endpoints?
Business apps are 3 times more likely to leak login credentials, both personal and corporate data, than the average app. And 82% of Android devices are susceptible to at least 1 out of 25 vulnerabilities in the Android operating system. So, organisations need an added layer of software security to keep their endpoints secure.
It's really the people, Hope, who are on the front lines of the company and therefore the battle against malicious hackers. However, if the software they're accessing or using on their devices is out of date or poorly managed, then avoiding phishing emails is the least of their concerns. 1 out of 3 breaches are related to unpatched software vulnerabilities. For this reason, organizations should have a vulnerability management process which enables them to know what vulnerabilities are present within the whole IT estate, including endpoints, patch efficiency before an attack.
Okay, so just like Chris alluded to, securing your endpoints is crucial to securing your company. Hackers will use outdated software to find vulnerabilities in your system to hack and to sell the data. This also applies to mobile devices. If these are not secured, should a mobile device be misplaced, then your company's data is at risk of being captured by malicious third parties. Asset management is a key to knowing what hardware you have in your company and what you need to make sure it's managed and secured.
I speak to a lot of companies that need an effective solution to track the whereabouts of their assets, be it mobiles, laptops, and ensure that both off-site devices and on-site computers are secure, provisioned, i.e. available to the assigned or registered users, and functioning properly, and with the appropriate software updates deployed. They want to see that up-to-date information on the management of those assets, know that that overview is readily accessible for the entire life cycle of those assets, and also know what happens when a device and its data is retired at the end of that cycle.
That's some really great advice. Additionally, how can companies manage their assets and users of all clearances confidently?
There's a lot of focus on users and endpoint devices, but businesses, particularly those adopting public cloud platforms like Azure and AWS, shouldn't forget that their back-end server infrastructure needs to be secure as well. Yes, users are a soft target for phishing, but as more organisations move their back-end infrastructure to the public cloud, they may not be familiar with best practice considerations or how to configure resources.
Well, regarding software and protecting your assets, it is essential to know what assets you have, since it is far easier to protect the things that you know about. This means that you either have your IT asset management or software asset management process in good order, or you have a security solution in place that can assess every device within your environment. It can report, it can prioritize and notify. And lastly, it is able to automatically patch to increase security and lower risk.
Okay, so there are suites of tools which will allow you to effectively track and protect your assets throughout your company, be this mobile devices, physical endpoints, servers, or virtual machines. The same goes for your users. There are products available to review your Active Directory environment, review your permissions of your users and technicians, and will help you know the most important appropriate level of access for all your employees.
Well, with regard to clearance or privileges aside from endpoint, Active Directory security is often overlooked and provides the missing part to a lot of security positioning that we see at all levels of companies. So the greater the numbers of employees, the more opportunity for a bad actor to access and elevate any of those users to privileges that they shouldn't have and effectively gain control of the entire business.
And the list really does go on. The theme See Yourself in Cyber advises companies and individuals to take on the following key actions. Enable multi-factor authentication, use strong passwords, recognize and report phishing attempts, and update software regularly. But how can training and processes be implemented to ensure that individuals are empowered to take these actions?
We all know that training our people, not just about the dangers, but also about the process they should follow in the event of an attack, is hugely important. What's equally important is how that training is delivered, so that it doesn't interrupt workflows and isn't boring. Here at Climb, we use training provider KnowBe4's Inside Man series, which is hugely popular with the team and delivers important security messages in an entertaining way.
Well, security awareness training is essential since human beings are the biggest vulnerability of bringing in exploits to an environment. However, having a solution to detect and patch vulnerabilities with threat intelligence can protect the wider corporation in the event of human error.
Okay, so initially when you join a company, there should be a series of training which involves recognizing malicious activities and suspicious activities. Once you've completed all that training, you should be able to reduce the risk of cyber attacks throughout your organization. Within each company, they have a help desk. All you need to do is raise a ticket to that help desk. They'll send it to the relevant technicians, and the technicians will be able to fix the issue which is raised.
One key benefit of AD monitoring is that it can be implemented as a control process and one which doesn't rely on individual user initiative for that protection. And so it isn't susceptible to human error and doesn't rely on training or the lack of.
I see. So let's take this to the next level. With most companies now opting for a remote workforce and many roles recommencing visits to customers and other offices, does this change the software needed to prevent these moving targets, and is more training needed for individuals who do work on the go?
Absolutely. I've spoken a bit about back-end infrastructure security being as important as end-user security, and this is even more true for businesses with remote workforces. It's important to understand that on-premises skills aren't necessarily transferable to the cloud. So, tech teams need to ensure that when they adopt secure architecture based on their needs now, they build out that infrastructure and utilize other cloud services.
Yes, extra layers of security are needed, so extra security around VPN and best practices within the framework that they are working with at home. So software development and patching needs to be under control, e.g. within iTunes, but also additional training is needed to keep your employees aware of the threats that they may face when working remotely, so phishing, spear phishing, etc. For software including the software installed on endpoints and access from various locations, the NCSC has to have a clear rule stating that organizations should have a software vulnerability management process in place to detect and remediate vulnerabilities within a certain time.
Ensuring the appropriate software is implemented across your assets for your roaming users is critical. These individuals especially should be utilized in MFAs, which are multi-factor authentications, and have their devices enrolled in the MDM, which is mobile device management solutions, to reduce the risk of lost data. They should also be utilizing VPNs to ensure that their data and connections are secure when working from remote locations.
The way users are working is changing, and what helps facilitate that in a secure way is the remote deployment of patches and dedicated provisioning with up-to-date software tailored either to the user or the staff group role, and that allows individuals to have all the tools they require to do their jobs right at their fingertips.
I see. It really does emphasise that individuals and their endpoints are one of the highest risks to any corporation. Just one wrong move and the whole IT infrastructure and sensitive data is at risk. Thanks again to everyone who joined me today. Let's end on a slightly higher note. What is the one quick tip for protecting yourself and your work devices that you think everyone should do?
Make sure multi-factor authentication is enabled on all your accounts and applications.
I would suggest always having a cover on your camera whilst using your laptop, especially if you're using or having sensitive information around you. If Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk do it, I think it's safe to say we should all do it.
Okay, without a shadow of a doubt, you should never leave your laptop or mobile phone unattended when working remotely, even when you go to the loo.
Well, just from a personal point of view, ask someone who knows you if they can guess your device password. And if they're even remotely close, if so, don't show it on your face, but just get and change it now.
Brilliant. I can't possibly choose my favourite, so I've just jotted them all down. If any of our viewers would like to get in touch regarding our cybersecurity solutions and services, please do not hesitate. The contact details for all of the guests from today's episode will be listed at the end of this video and in the video description box below. Alternatively, you can find out more on our cybersecurity solutions page. Fancy joining us for a cuppa? If you'd like to take part in a cuppa with Climb, or even nominate a colleague maybe, get in touch with me by emailing hopes@climbcs.co.uk. Until next time, bye everyone!